Welcome back, everyone, to another episode. In today's episode, we went to Hanoi, Vietnam, which is not that far. It's about an hour south of Da Nang.
We're in the city of Hoi An. It's beautiful, no flood. We've been very blessed. We're walking the old quarter of Hoi An. Enjoy, guys.
Yes, it was a beautiful day. The last couple of days before that had been typhoons, and the water had flooded over the banks. And so you'll see some things later on that were drying. They were known for their lanterns. And I had asked her, hey, do you want a lantern? Is that something that you're interested in? And she's like, no, I don't. I said, how come? Because they're too big and bulky. So now we own two. You can see there's still some water being pushed out by the shopkeepers, but everything's getting pretty much back to normal. It's surprising how devastated this area was. And I think it was 3 or 4 typhoons in a row here. They just got hammered by them. And yet you show up 24 hours later, 48 hours later, back to business. Obviously, it's something that they're used to. Lots of little shops around. Hoi An itself, what do you want to know about it? It is it's an ancient trading port for central Vietnam. It looks pretty touristy here, and it has been touristy for about 500 years. It's a well-preserved example of a Southeast Asian trading port from the 15th to the 19th centuries. So the architecture in here, you're going to see there's some wooden Chinese chop houses, some Vietnamese tube houses, and some French colonial buildings. And the French buildings stick out because they're usually painted yellow. They're well known for their lanterns. In the evening, they light up the streets on the other side. They still use them. Kind of creates a very magical atmosphere. Lots of some coffee shops, lots of little places to eat. I think in this little grove of trees, we had found that there were still some boats that they put them in here during the typhoon, or they got blown in there and they hadn't been taken out yet. Just in the little area that hadn't been cleaned up yet near the water. They were covered, so maybe they were planned and had been put in there on purpose. The water was fairly murky still because there had been a lot of runoff and the water was still moving a fair amount. So yeah, it's going to look a little murky. But a beautiful evening. We're there. This is the afternoon, probably 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. These items are out to dry off. Lots of things. It's mostly a walking street. There's every now and then a scooter that will go by, but generally it's no vehicles, at least during the main part of the day. The river or canal is still being used for fishing, so they will catch fish in there as well. Mostly it's used in the evening for touristy things. It becomes a little bit magical. Try not to fall in the water. There's some leaves, some lanterns that were drying out that must have gotten wet. But some of those lanterns, they use them, so they may have been taken down from the wind and then got wet. Sometimes, those ones there don't look like they're for sale. They look like they're more to be used. So there are a number of hotels and places to stay right in this little area, this town. This is kind of the old town part of Hoi An. I don't know if the whole town is quote old town or if there's just areas of it. There's quite a ways to walk, a lot to see. I mean, on the far side there, again, that's another whole island. There's probably 2 or 3 streets, and then it goes to a bigger open canal. One side of the canal, I believe, is the Mekong Delta, and on the other side of the canal is the ocean. There's a covered bridge in the background, which was from the Japanese, a Japanese covered bridge. I don't know if that was pre-World War II or built at that time. The place is known for custom tailoring. So there's a lot of places, besides the little coffee shops like this, really quaint little places, for the custom tailoring, dresses and suits. I think the shortest that they can do them is probably about 48 hours. Like if you go in there one day, they do it up and then you might pay a rush fee type thing, but I think they can have it delivered to your hotel the next day, or you show back up there and they will custom, fit the last little bits for you. There are guys there willing to run you around as lazy tourists. There's some people. I think it's a great way, especially for, like here, you're seeing, some elderly or people who may have some mobility issues. I think that's actually a great way to get around. You can see somebody doing some drawing there, custom artwork. There's one of the big yellow houses. That would be the French colonial style. Obviously, it looks like it. Mixed with a bit of Vietnamese in there, I'd say. And that's right across from another Japanese bridge. This one's not covered. That leads over to another little island part of it. Obviously, you could walk here for a couple of days, walking up and down every little street and everything. But a beautiful area. Lots of boats. A lot of these boats might be used during the day for fishing or things like that, maybe. I think most of these people here get a lot of business in the evening, taking tourists up and down the canal. Short rides, getting some photos, things like that. In this whole area here on the far side, again, lots of coffee shops, some bars, some restaurants, and lots of different items, pretty much everything you can imagine for sale. Beautiful area. Beautiful place. You could quite easily spend, like I said, a couple of days there just wandering around. Take some time. If some people do book their entire hotel, their entire experience here. On the far end, there is a resort, and so people will stay in the resort and they'll wander up and down here. You can easily do that for a couple of days. I'm not sure what these are. I think they are either a massage or for getting your hair done. Those tables, but I think they're probably out here drying. Probably from that spa in the background. Lots of lanterns. Very picturesque. But if you want your picture taken, or if you want to you want to take your picture over by all of these things, you're probably going to have to buy something or pay them some money. I know we went walking up there and they said, no pictures. And we said, okay. And we were actually thinking about buying one anyway, but they were kind of rude. So we went down to a stall, a couple of stalls down, and shopped from them. And they were super happy to help us. I think it's kind of also knockoff central here. So every Louis Vuitton, every Guess bag, brand name, non-brand name, it's all here. I think you need to be a little bit careful when you're buying stuff. Obviously, you know it's not going to be real. But I think that's not the issue. The issue is if you're bringing it home, that's where you might get caught stuck at the border. Places might be saying, like coming in through customs, they'll know it's a knockoff and then you could have it confiscated. So it's a little bit risky. I remember coming back from Hong Kong one time. Coming back from Hong Kong and Thailand, and they stopped and had my bags searched. And that's specifically what they were asking me for. At that particular time, I didn't have anything. But in the past, have I bought stuff? Sure. It's a good deal. It's fashionable. Sometimes the prices reflect the quality. However, other times the quality is just as good as the original, like really, really similar, and you get a good deal. Ice cream rolls, obviously they're taking fresh fruit and they're mixing it up and putting it all on a little freezer pad there to give you those ice cream rolls that they roll up really thin, put them into a cup for you. And even today was still a hot, humid day. Here we're in the shade, felt better. We heard that there might be fireworks or something, or lanterns being lit off. And so we waited around here for quite a while, just to see if that was going to happen. It didn't, so don't wait for that. I don't know, I think there's only on certain days, like for example, Tet or maybe New Year's. Those ones might have something like that going on. This was mostly tourists going on for a boat ride along with a bunch of other people, and then they'd come back and start off somewhere else down the river and make their way up. As you can see by the lit up lanterns, it does get to be quite romantic. Also, you can see in the water that there's a little kind of burning lantern, we'll call it, floating in the water. And they do every now and then, they will let a number of these go, and sometimes they pick them up. I kind of wonder about how much garbage that creates. I did see some people picking them up elsewhere, other places, so they might clean them all up, I'm not sure. They have a bit of a system. You can see on the bottom there, at the back of this dock, it is right water level, so the water is still quite high. And then there's a little rickety walkway from there out that goes a little ways. That looked like it was pretty scary and sketchy. But the rest of this, wow, there's a lot of people of all sizes, and the dock didn't move much, so must be fairly well built if it's still there after typhoons, you know, and gets flooded and everything else. They've been here for 500 years. They probably figured it out by now. Best times to visit. March to May, they say, offer the best weather. But starting in June and August, it's hot. Even March to May, I'd say it's warm. But there can also be rain. It says avoid October to January for fewer storms. So there can be rain then. Yep, we got hit with a lot of rain. So if this is what it's like with fewer people because of the rain, I'm not sure how crazy it gets between March and May. But it was, once you get walking, like it looks like there's a lot of people here. Once you get walking, it's really not that bad. And this is like the most central touristy part where everyone is trying to, get the next person in their boat, and they're trying to make money at that time of day, etc. So on our way, we had to leave the area. We were off. We had a show that evening that we were going to go see that was on the resort. It was called the Memories of Hoi An. So we'll show you a bit of that in a second here. So these French colonial houses, they used to be actual houses, and rich people or landowners or whatever, business people would own them and live there. Now they've been turned into quaint little restaurants and coffee shops and things like that. Buy your hat shop here. Next one will be some paintings, dresses. Lots of, beautiful work. And a lot of times you will see people in the background in other places who are painting these. So they're not necessarily just quick screen prints or whatever else. They're actually hand painted by people. Maybe they paint the same scenes, who knows, but it was really nice to see a lot of the, handmade, real actual handmade stuff, not just factory made things made for tourists. Part of the Silk Road. And there, obviously, there was a lot of silk in there. Here's one of the tailors. Yeah, you in sport shirts, fancy suits, ugly suits, or whatever you want. People will make. Coffee, chocolate, loose tea. There was a bridge that we had to cross back over to go to another island. And this area is all a resort. So I think it's called Memories Land, Hoi An Land, whatever. It looked quite nice. It was a full resort. Like, There's little trams running around it, little buses to bring you places if you want. And on the one corner, like a big area you'll see, was a whole area where they have a show. Pretty much a nightly show, I believe. Every evening. Lit up LED bridge with some glass flooring down the middle of it. Hoi An Memories Land. So obviously lots of lanterns in some areas. There was lots of bungalows in the background there, which are all part of the resort. And then this part here, which you can't really see, but going past goes out into the Mekong Delta. Followed our pathway, going in through one of these really well lit up pathways. That leads to the entrance. On either side are those bungalows that I was talking about, areas that are available for rent or to stay at. Big feature, cool columns that lead you into the kind of an inner palace, we'll call it, which is the shopping area of the resort. Lights and music, and away we go. Now again, we were trying to find out where do we actually go to check in, to figure out. We had some tickets, but so we had to just keep walking. We didn't have a lot of time to stop and do any shopping beforehand. And honestly, at this point in the evening, we had been walking straight for probably about 5 hours. And I think all four of us were getting hot and tired of walking and looking forward to where we could sit down. And honestly, we're walking up here trying to read the signs, thinking, okay, well, we go this way. Well, that doesn't make any sense to us. But it was a beautiful path. So taking your time to walk through it was really well worth it. I think the invention of LED lights has has done quite a bit for places like this. Because I can't imagine how this would have been lit up previously and how much that would have cost for electricity. But everything with LED lights now, it looks really good. Lots of little architecture there. Like, there's a lot to look at. Like, if you want to take your time or you want to be there and you want to photograph things, man, you could. So many of these places in Vietnam, even if it's just a regular back alley or a regular street or whatever, there are so many things that for Westerners or people who aren't from, an Asian culture, they're so interesting. And, you can make some great photography out of so much of it. So anyway, here is the show. Just gonna go through a couple of snippets. It was a huge production. This camera kind of took in all of it at the same time, and if you have a choice, get the VIP seats. I'm really gonna just let you enjoy it. Here was the music. This last part was so cool. This is all just like a laser video put onto a mist that was spraying. They just put mist and fog and they put a laser show on it. And that's the last little bit of our episode here in Hoi An. It was a great day, a lot to do. And if you ever have a chance to get there, go. See it, do it, take your time. Everything's really hot, so make sure you drink a lot of water. Thanks for watching. Now go choose your own adventure.